Wilder in the National League wild card. It's all in Sportscenter. It's all next.
Greetings. Welcome to SportsCenter, a special 90-minute episode alongside Kenny Mayne. I'm Dan Patrick.
And alongside Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Football can wait because baseball's not moving aside without a fight.
I think we've been down this road before. Sammy Sosa will not be remembered as the player who broke Roger Maris's single-season home run record, but he could go down in history as the player who surpassed the player who broke Roger Maris's single-season home run record. The club slugger was sitting on 60 Sunday afternoon, and Chicago finished up its business this season with the user-friendly Brewers, who have surrendered 8 homers to Sosa so far this season. The wind blowing out at Wrigley as the fans streamed in on Beanie Baby Day. Bottom 5, Sammy up, 6-3 Cubs, and Bill Murray, who knows the pain of being a Cub fan, can't believe his eyes as Harry Carey's grandson Chip makes the call.
The 0-1.
Sosa's 61st. This one off Bronzewell Patrick, and the fans go heading for the streets. Bill looks on with a smile on his face. Sammy gets congrats and blows hugs and kisses to everyone. The fan, John Witt, caught the ball. They put him in a van for safety precautions. Sammy came out for a curtain call after his home run. Bottom 9, 10-8 Brewers, and Sammy comes calling again. Ed Belfour back in town.
Waiting for number 62.
And the streets ready. We go back to Chip Carey for another historic moment.
It's almost unfair. The 2-1. Swung on, there she goes. Number 62. Move over, Big Mac. You got company.
Number 62 off Eric Plunk. And a tremendous battle in the street for the ball. A mosh pit or a large game of Twister. And finally, Sammy will come out to take the customary curtain call. Sammy Sosa, 10th home run off Brewers pitching this year. And look at it again. The fans knew it. Sammy with his little hop, he knew it as well. As for the game itself, bottom 10, tied at 10. Sammy on deck with Mark Grace up.
2 up, 2 down.
Gone.
Grace sends a drive. Deep right.
Game-winning home run. Grace's 16th home run of the year. Sammy's pumped. Grace and Sosa, the Cub heroes for the day. Grace's homer made a winner out of Rod Beck. The Brewers hit 5 home runs in the loss. Sosa now has 10 homers this season against Milwaukee pitching. That's the most he's hit against any team. Sosa homered in all 3 games this weekend. After the game, Sammy said he was there for Mark's 62nd, but where was Mark for his 62nd?
Mark, you know I love you. It's been unbelievable. I know it's been happening to you over there in St. Louis, but I was there. I wish you can be there with me today, but I know you're watching me, and I know you have the same feeling that I have for me, and you have it in your heart. And tell you the truth. It's been unbelievable, and this is for you, Mark. I love you.
Who would have ever thought 2 people do it in the same year? You know, it's unfortunate that the Maris family wasn't here. You know, to be involved with that. You know, McGwire got so much more because he was the first to do it, and of course, or the first guy to hit 62, but. And well deserved, but now, you know, I hate that. Oh yeah, by the way, Sammy hit 62 today too. You know, but maybe Sammy will get a blue Corvette, 62 Corvette.
Sosa is the 4th player in Major League history to reach double figures in multi-home run games in a season. He's 1 away from Hank Greenberg's record of 11. Greenberg did that for the Tigers back in 1938. Much more on Sammy Sosa later in this 90-minute SportsCenter, including a look at all 62 of his historic homers. How was Sammy's Sunday different than Mark McGwire's Tuesday? And how did Sammy go from a low-average, high-strikeout hitter to a history-making slugger? Speaking of which, Mark spending his night in Houston in deep thought. 1 is magic for Big Mac and the Astros. McGwire facing Sean Bergman, top 4, the little grounder. the easy out. Mack would leave the game with back spasms. He went 0 for 2 on the night. Top of the 8th, 2-1 Houston, and John Mayberry facing Bergman. Home plate ump Sam Holbrook calls it a strike, and here's it from Mayberry and apparently Tony La Russa, because Tony got tossed. Now these two have a history. Who could forget the scene in St. Louis August 29th when Holbrook tossed McGwire and La Russa? An interesting couple of weeks for Holbrook last Wednesday night in San Diego. Julian Tavares goes bananas on Holbrook. So back to the game. McGwire's replacement, Fernando Tatis, 2 out, 2 on, trailing 2-1 over Moises Alou. Eli Marrero and J.D. Drew score. Tatis gets greedy going to third, but the damage is done, and the Cards win this one by the final of 3-2. St. Louis stops the Astros' 8-game winning streak, preventing Houston from clinching its second straight NL Central title. McGwire now homerless in 5 games, going 1 for 14 since hitting his historic homer on Tuesday evening. Arizona and Cincinnati out of the pennant races, but not out of the headlines. Top of the 4th. Gone. Jay Bell, 19th on the year. Matt Williams at second. Diamondbacks up 2-0. That's not the drama. Those aren't the headlines. Reggie Sanders, the whiff. Andy Benes. Andy Benes on Sean Casey. No-hitter through 6. As you see the goose eggs. Bottom 8. 1 out. Bases empty. Brett Boone threatens, but Andy Fox brings it in. Benes still has a no-hitter. Bottom of the 9th. 5-0 Diamondbacks, 1 on, 1 out, and Sean Casey ends the no-hit bid. 8 1/3 for Andy Benes. Diamondbacks pick up the victory by the final of 5-0. So Benes misses out on trying to become the first pitcher for an expansion team to throw a no-hitter since 1969. When Bill Stoneman did the honors for the Expos, Benes did become just the 4th pitcher in history with an expansion team to win 13 games.
Due to their relocation deal from Los Angeles, the Rams don't get any of the NFL split from the Cleveland expansion deal, but they sure got their money's worth this week on their land and equipment. Players complained that Coach Dick Vermeil kept them on the practice field for too long. For their sake, it would have been beneficial if the long sessions were pass defense related, because the Vikings with Chris Carter and Randy Moss were in town on Sunday. Vermeil not spent from having coached so much practice. Second quarter, Vikings up 17-10 in the offensive line, creating a hole so big that Robert Smith could get through. Still running, 74 yards. Second touchdown of the game. Vikings up 24-10. Third quarter, still 24-10. Second and 10. Johnson has DeMarco Farr in his face. Share, and he does. And it's Mike D. Jones. He's going to score. He's not. He's huge. Ran it back far, but he gets to the 14, and it's 24-17 Vikes after the touchdown. Vikings punting here. Eddie Kinnison going one way, then the other, then up the hole. The punter to beat him. 70-yard return, and it's a tie game at 24 apiece. 31-24 Vikes. Tony Banks cranking it out for Isaac Bruce. 80-yard play, 31 apiece. It's tied again. Bruce, 11 catches, 192 yards. Now 4 minutes to go in the game. Banks going to the sideline where Jimmy Hitchcock is, and he picks it off. They picked off Banks 4 times. The Vikes with good field position. Brad Johnson had left the game with a sore ankle. 15 seconds to go. That'd be 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. And Randall Cunningham, as he did late last season, coming in relief and zips it for Chris Carter. The corner, the touchdown, 38-31, the Vikes in the lead. 23 seconds to go now, 4th and 3, and Banks is looking for Ricky Prohl. Incomplete, but there's cheating. It's pass interference. The Rams get a first down on the call. Now 6 seconds to go in the game. Banks in shotgun has a chance to win it. Flying upfield, dives for the end zone, but he stopped just short of the goal line, and time runs out. The Vikings hang on 38-31, so when I said chance to win it, of course, they would have had to go for 2. The winning touchdown by Carter was the 765th catch of his career. He moves past James Lofton for 6th place all-time in the NFL. Randy Moss followed up his 2 touchdowns from last week with 6 catches for 89 yards, and Minnesota's Robert Smith ran for a career-high 179 yards. Now the Tampa Buccaneers at Green Bay. Packers leading the head-to-head series, 25-13-1. Second quarter, 13-0 Packers. Reggie White is getting past Jerry Wunsch. He's into Trent Dill for real hard. 3 sacks for him, forced a fumble. Warren Sapp without a helmet even. He's after Brett Favre, and he got him, throws him down. He kept his helmet. Last play, or rather first play now with the fourth quarter. Favre scrambling around. Regan Upshaw's into him real hard. Favre likes that stuff. He likes tackle football. He's into the defender, says keep it up. 2 plays later, the rush is not as heavy. Favre dropping back, has time, looking for Antonio Freeman. Found him, he knows him, their teammates. And Freeman, not quite like diving into the stands, but did dive into the end zone. 23-0 Packers. It's a 38-yard play. If you've ever broken an ankle or twisted it bad, don't look. Dorsey Levens taken down by Derek Brooks. Not broken, to make clear. The Packers obviously concerned. Levens, severe sprain and MRI coming on Monday. Fourth quarter, 23-0 Packers. Jaquez Green, NFL debut, has some space, and he's going untouched. A lot of runbacks on Sunday. 95 yards on this one, the longest punt return in Bucs history. Back in Tampa, the lights out at the Big Sombrero. Bucs begin play at Raymond James Stadium next Sunday, but at the stadium where the play was going on Sunday, it's 23-15 final. The Packers win it again. 3 sacks out of White, a total of 6 by Green Bay. They took the ball away on 3 of them. Now, including 4 playoff games, the Packers have won 29 straight at home. That excludes a preseason loss this summer. More on the Dorsey Levens story a bit later in the show. The Bengals, the Lions, and the Barry Sanders. Catchable right there because he's seated. First quarter, Lions down 7-0. Mitchell with the screen. It's Sanders cutting back, had blocks. Looks like a score. Get to the corner. Finally knocked out, though, at the 1. Lions would score, tie the game at 7 apiece. 7 up in the second quarter, second 11 for the Bengals. Neil O'Donnell. Play action and cranks it out for Darnay Scott on the post. Second TD of the game. 14-7 Bengals. Third quarter, tied at 14. Sanders, he's in a pile. Now he's working his way through it, and he's racing. 67 yards for the touchdown. Almost outdoing what he did rushing last week on 1 play. Second of his 3 TDs in the game. 21-14. Fourth quarter, Damon Gibson. An electric football. You turn the guy once on a play, he turns the other way, changing directions, gets 2 great blocks downfield. We'll show him again. And Gibson goes 65 yards on the return, 28-21 Cincinnati. Another look, Tremaine Mack. He's into Ron Rice real hard. Then Bernard Wilson laying out the punter, John Jett. Jett shaken up. He left the field on his own. Minute to go in regulation, tied at 28. Mitchell has pressure across the field, and Ashley Ambrose ripping him off. Bobby Ross not real happy about it. 2 seconds later, Doug Pelfrey from 48 for the win. Newby, and it's blocked. Mark Spindler got a hand on it. The game heads to overtime. We're in the OT. Detroit 3rd and 3 on the 47. Mitchell to Corey Sawyer. Wrong team. He's going the other way. 58 yards and in for the score. Mitchell wasn't pleased about it, and we learned afterward Herman Moore wasn't much pleased. Those two had to be separated in the locker room. Here's Kozlett celebrating the win in overtime, 34-28. The OT pick spoiled a big running day from Barry Sanders. 185 yards, 26 carries, scored 3 touchdowns. The Bengals' new quarterback, Neil O'Donnell, hit on 25 of 36, 303 yards, hit his first 7 passes of the game, and those included 2 touchdowns.
His college career was nothing to write home about, but his pro career has already been the subject of a book. The Denver Media Guide has devoted 16 pages to the exploits of Terrell Davis. By comparison, the Dallas Media Guide has freed up 9 pages to capsulize the Hall of Fame career of Emmitt Smith. On Sunday in Denver, the 2 former SEC running backs crossed paths when the Cowboys dropped in on the defending Super Bowl champs. Mike Shanahan looking for 18 consecutive regular season victories at home. John Elway, Shannon Sharp, 38 yards, touchdown. Broncos led 7-0 in the Broncos' first possession of the game. Broncos' next possession, after an Ernie Mills touchdown, tied the game at 7. It's Terrell Davis, and he is gone. 63 yards, barely touched. Broncos stake to a 14-7 lead, and the obligatory salute. Give it to me. Sir, yes, sir. Broncos, next possession. Yep. Terrell Davis squirting, squeezing, flying. Denver had 6 plays of 30 yards or more against the Cowboys. Davis 3 T's, 191 yards on the day. Broncos up 28-14 second quarter. Troy Aikman, 43 yards rushing last week. And here, running for his life, Marvin Washington drives Aikman's left shoulder into the ground. And Troy is in obvious pain. Goes to the sideline holding his shoulder. Look at it again. It's a broken left clavicle for Aikman. Avoids Bill Romanowski, but took the hit from Washington. He's gone for at least a month. More from Aikman in a moment. Fourth quarter, Broncos up 35-23. John Elway throws the pass, but immediately grabs his right hamstring. Here's a guy who's missed only 9 starts in his NFL career. Left the game, did not return. Broncos didn't need him. Didn't need him, at least for the second half of this Sunday's game. 42-23 the final. Davis, 191 yards, 154 of those yards arriving in the first half. Elway, who departed in the fourth quarter with the pulled hamstring, is expected to be ready to go. Broncos said they'll give him a couple of days rest. He helped guide the Broncos to over 500 yards of total offense. As for his QB counterpart, Aikman, expected to miss at least a month due to that broken collarbone.
These guys are going to continue. If I've learned anything over the course of my career when I've been hurt, that the team moves on, and the other guys will step up. Jason will do well. He did a nice job today, and I'm not out for the year. I mean, I'll miss a few games, and then I'll be back in there.
You just got to be smart. You're not a running back. You're not a guy who's used to taking hits. So, slide, run out of bounds, do something, but don't take a hit.
To Jacksonville, the Jags and the Chiefs, and this is Reggie Barlow, third-year pro out of Alabama State. He'll probably give you his life history on this play. 85 yards. Marty Schottenheimer has got to be stunned. And he is. 7-0 Jags, second quarter. Jimmy Smith getting behind Mark McMillan, and Mark Brunell will make him pay. Great toss, great grab. For McMillan, the bench is a lonely place to be, sitting with all of his friends. 14-6 Jags at the half. Rich Gannon getting the start for the injured Elvis Kerback. Tony Gonzalez takes the hit from Aaron Beasley. 2 plays later, disaster for Casey. Kimball Anders fumbles the football. Jags recover. Marty Schottenheimer, a long afternoon. Jaguars win it by the final of 21-16. James Stewart rushed for 103 yards, making him the first Jacksonville back to rush for 100 yards in consecutive games. Barlow's punt return touchdown is the first in team history. To Three Rivers, the Steelers, the Bears. Home opener for Bill Cowher and the Steelers. Jerome Bettis had 41 yards last week. He gets 42 yards on this play alone. He would later score on a 1-yard run. The Bucs and the Steelers down 9-7 at halftime. They're up 10-9 when we pick up the highlights. Cordell Stewart to Andre Coleman. Touchdown. Dave Wanstead can't believe it. Steelers up 17-9. Right before the 2-minute warning, Bears down 17-12. Eric Kramer pass tipped by Ryan Wetnight. Curtis Conway makes the grab. As you look at it again, Conway keeping his eye on the ball. 54 seconds to go. And Kramer will be thinking about this one.
Play action.
Gets picked off by Carnell Lake. Threw into double coverage. Lake locks up the win for the Steelers. Eric Kramer bummed. So are the Bears. 17-12 the final. Pittsburgh 2-0 for the first time since they went to the Super Bowl back in '95. Bettis bounces back from his worst game as a Steeler to rush for 131 yards and a touch. Curtis Enos now has 171 yards in 2 games after missing most of training camp. Kenny?
The entire nation was watching. Speaking of Australia here, our nation was watching to see if Sammy Sosa got a vintage car like McGwire. For the first time since 1970, the men's U.S. Open final was all Aussie, and Mark Philippoussis was trying to amend the record on his own. Of the 3 unseeded players before him to make the final, only Andre Agassi had won. The big server Philippoussis against the defending champ Patrick Rafter. And Rafter serving here, far court. Philippoussis, the fancy lob.
That's it.
Makes Rafter run. But then Raptors getting the winner. Third set, Philippoussis serving near court. Raptors the winner. Now serving near court. And coming to the net. Looking for his second straight title. Flushing Meadows. Got it. Rafter wins a huge Sugar Bowl. Repeats at the Open. He's a winner of 6 titles this season. He's won a title each time he's made the finals this year. His 6 wins lead the tour. He'll move to second in the world rankings ahead of Marcelo Rios. He'll now move in front of a microphone.
Having the experience last year really helped me this year. I was very, very relaxed in this match. I walked out the practice court and I was talking to the guys thinking, this is completely different. Last year I was so jittery. This year I was just just cruising. You know, it was like another match for me. Now I feel, you know, last year wasn't such a fluke then. You know, this year I feel I've consolidated and then maybe I can kick on and have another great next 6 months.
Rafter's the 6th player in the open era to defend his U.S. title. Yvonne Lindell and John McEnroe did one better, coming back to win 3 straight. Since this year's Wimbledon, Rafter is now 25-2 on hard courts.
Still to come on the program, Sam I Am, as Mr. Sosa takes it to the streets. We'll have much more on his history-making afternoon at Wrigley Field. Also on the menu, the Mets needed all the defense they could get to beat the Expos and keep pace with the Cubs. The Tigers' season was spoiled long ago. Can they continue the Red Sox woes in Boston? And speaking of Boston, we'll head just outside of the city. The Patriots laid down the law against the #1 pick. That's next.
Come on, guys. Come on. We put the product design right in front of the kids to see what they think. I click on that guy right up there.
That's cool. Linda, we need help.
Kids are great with computers because they'll tell you exactly what they think.
It's all black.
That's strange.
Whoa.
The other thing you want to do is be able to collect these cards along the way. Computers are great for kids because they have infinite patience.
I want to do it.
That's a good thing.
Adrenaline rushing, hearts pounding, heavy breathing. It's almost as much fun as your first date. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
You didn't know Walmart has all these tools? Can't beat our lab-tested Popular Mechanics line. So tough, they're guaranteed forever. We've got all kinds of wrenches and sockets. You can even design your own set and add to it later. We got your name brand power tools, as well as plumbing supplies. All kinds of light bulbs, even ceiling fans, all at everyday low prices. Pick up your hardware along with your regular Walmart shopping. We're the hardware store inside your Walmart store.
Alfred, come here. Run across the street. Check out what's going on over at Pizza Hut. Becky. Run over to the Pizza Hut. Check on Alfred. Cece, Lou, Victor. Check on Alfred, Becky. Lou. No, you're Lou. Anybody with a yellow shirt.
If you want the most exciting, most outrageous, most mouth-watering pizzas there are, you gotta go to Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
They're not coming back.
It takes about 3 hours for a fan to exit Foxborough Stadium. Those who'd been doing that Sunday night were hoping their Patriots had figured out a running game in a shorter amount of time. If the concern could be made any greater for the Colts game, it was when one of Drew Bledsoe's favorites, the tight end Ben Coates, was held out with the bum ankle. There's Coates. First time he's missed an NFL game. A long one, though, for Peyton Manning, just under 3 hours. Willie McGinnis after him. The sack led to a Patriots field goal. 3rd and 3 here. Manning ripped off by Ty Law. Has some help with blocks, and he's reversing it. Breaking tackles, too. Law all the way back for the touchdown. 59-yard interception return. And after all that, he deserves some time for himself. Cuba Gooding Jr. choreography. Manning and the Colts are down now 10-0. 3rd quarter, Colts down 22-zip. Manning rolling right to try to go back across the middle. And Chris Canty thought that's a good idea. Manning, 3rd pick of the game. Colts offensive coordinator Tom Moore watching or not. The ensuing drive, 3rd and goal for New England. Robert Edwards from the 1 into the dog pile, took the big hit, gets his body in, 29-0 there. And the final's 29-6. Edward is Curtis Martin's successor. When I say Edward, of course I meant Edwards. Carried the ball 18 times, 36 yards in the touchdown. Manning 21-33, $188, 4 turnovers. Now has 7 this season. The Patriots quarterback Drew Bledsoe will talk about tackle football and other matters with our Inquisitor General Chris Myers Monday on Up Close. Be aware of a special and a more convenient time on Mondays during the season, 4:30 Eastern for Up Close.
Back to return
Ravens and the Jets. Bill Parcells and the Jets looking for a win at home. First quarter, no score. Jermaine Lewis back for the punt. He's finding some space. You've seen 4 punt returns for touchdowns. Here's a 5th. That's a record or something in one day. First punt return given up by the Jets, though, since 1989. Curtis Martin, slam in the middle. Trying to get a yard. Did get a yard. Now he needs a couple more. Got one more. Bill Parcells brought him in for big running. Line's got to help out, too. 3rd and goal. Martin up and stuffed again. Terrell Peters and Ray Lewis all over him. Lewis fired up. 4th and goal. Parcells going for it. Again, Martin. Lewis is on him again. 14-play drive, but no points. 4th quarter. Ravens up 7 points. Glenn Foley going to pass. Rod Woodson.
Now it's a foot race.
He's going the other way. A lot of long runs on Sunday. 60 yards here. 1 of 2 picks for Woodson and 3 picks thrown by Foley, and the Ravens are winners 24-10. The Lewis touchdown return for Baltimore came after having gone 97 yards on the punt return against the Jets in the preseason. He said he figured New York wouldn't kick it to him. Baltimore's defense held the Jets to 276 yards. That's a week after they racked up 465 against the 49ers. Now the Giants and the Raiders in Oakland. Tough house. Raiders' first play from scrimmage. Napoleon Kaufman. He's at the 20 and 30. And now they're just going to time him. See Jet run into the picture so he can be in any photograph of the touchdown. 7-0 Raiders. Kaufman, big running game for him. A review of the various penalties in football. There's holding. Offside. Holding again. I think it was. There's traveling in basketball. More on that later. 4th quarter, 46 seconds left. Danny Cannell looking to throw. Eric Turner's after him. Making the big play on the blitz. Got to him. Next play. Turner's going to stay in coverage. It's 4th down. And he picked him off. Eric Turner with the rip. The Giants are done. Giants come up short 20-17 here. Good finish, but the kids were misbehaving out there. Together, the teams combined for 31 penalties. Jeff George went 25 of 44, 303 yards and a touchdown. And Kaufman, 139 yards on 20 carries, 80 of it on his first run, the touchdown.
Willie Blair can count his wins this season on one hand, but he needs 4 hands to tabulate his losses. Blair, whose 16 defeats ties him for the league lead with Darryl Kyle, has been asked to replace an ineffective Hideo Nomo in the Mets rotation. His promotion became official Sunday afternoon in Montreal. His battery mate, Todd Hundley, first start behind the plate since September of 97. Bottom of the 3rd, no score. Wilton Guerrero off Blair, into the gap, and Brian McCray. Great grab. Look at it again. B-Mac full extension. Laying out to bring this one in. Bottom 4, Shane Andrews hasn't stolen a base since June 17th, 1996. Blair's pitch in the dirt. Andrews tests Hundley and doesn't live to tell about it. The only person to attempt to steal on Sunday. Bottom 9, Mets up 1-0, 2 outs. Bob Apodaca talking to John Franco after walk to Andrews. First pitch to Vlad Guerrero is wild. Andrews goes to second. Guerrero would be intentionally walked. Mike Hubbard, the hitter, 2 on, 2 outs. It's a liner, and guess who comes up with it? Brian McCray, the throw to the plate. Hundley, textbook. Got him.
Out at home plate.
Franco congratulates Hundley.
Todd Hundley makes the last out.
Bobby Valentine has got to be pumped. And Kenny has a sore eardrum. 1-0 the final. Blair wins his first game as a Met. Limits the Expos to just 3 hits through 7. Plus, Franco works the 9th for his 36th save and 42 opportunities. To San Francisco, the Giants, the Rockies. When you're in Fuego. Top 3, no score. Darryl Hamilton at the plate, tries to lay down the bunt. Brent Mayne, great grab. No score. News of Sammy Sosa's day brings about a Sammy Sosa standing O. Chuck McElroy against Barry Bonds in the 8th. Oh, Barry Bonds has just left the building. Smoking a 3-run homer. 33 home runs. Giants up 4-3, and that is the way it would end. McElroy, who had held Bonds to just 1 hit in 29 career at-bats, admitted on Friday that Bonds was due. The win keeps the Giants 3.5 games behind the Cubs in the wild card race. Segue. So the Cubs, Mets, and Giants all win on Sunday. As for Monday, the Cubs visit San Diego for the start of a 4-game series. The Mets go to Houston for the beginnings of a 4-game set. None of these 3 teams face each other the remainder of the season.
It would be negativist for Boston Red Sox fans to begin panicking, though they should retain the option. That big wild card lead of 8 games a couple weeks ago is long gone, and it's the Red Sox charge now to try to hang on to it. This time at Fenway. Pedro Martinez is madcap against Detroit. Red Sox up 1-0. Steve Avery, the good D. It's Brian Hunter who's fast. Snuffs the base hit out. 8th inning is tied at 1. Hunter. grounds the Greg Swindell pitch to Nomar Malo. 24th error of the year. Had 21 last year.
A switch
Pedro, not a lot to say about it. The Eric Hostley, 3 batters later, Tony Clark.
Has more power.
And he has successfully reached the 18 to 39-year-old target audience, or over the wall, apparently. Tigers up 4-1. 3 runs, though, unearned. 8th inning. Sean Runyon to Mike Benjamin. He's just looking. Trot Nixon, chopping broccoli. John Valentine, also known as John Valentin. He's leaving, too. 9th inning, same story. Todd Jones to Mo Vaughn. Choking on a splinter. Garcia Pera. Another case of the man keeping us down. And Troy O'Leary looking to end it. 7 of the last 8 Red Sox batters K. And the Tigers get this win 4-1. Now, until this loss, Boston had gone 14-0 this season when Avery pitched 5 innings or more. Another pitching note, the Sox signed Brett Saberhagen for 3 more years. But the Red Sox have dumped 8 of the last 10, 1-5 in recent one-run games. And now a Toronto win would cut the wild card lead to 3 games. Blue Jays, the Yankees, David Cone trying to be the major's first 20-game winner. Shannon Stewart, he's going to get his name in the paper. 10th of the year. Solo job. Blue Jays up 1-0. David Cone now just looking on after going 5 2/3. Yanks are up 3-1. Sean Green singles off Graham Lloyd. Darren Fletcher will come to score. Craig Graybeck coming to score. It's tied up at 3 apiece. And Cone is crestfallen. 6th inning, 4-3 Jays. Mike Lowell. Alex Gonzalez diving backhand gets the force at second. The Blue Jays win at 5-3. That's 3 out of 4 in New York for the Jays. They've cut Boston's wild card lead now to 3 games. They haven't been that close to Boston since the end of May. Toronto's now won 14 of 16 games and heads to Cleveland next for 2 games. The Rangers still have wild card hopes, if not division hopes. And Tom Goodwin was keeping them going with this play. Arizona's quarterback of the future was on his back in the present. The Cardinals and the Seahawks pictures are coming up soon.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Are you still researching the effects of instant replay?
Yeah, we're still analyzing what happened with the Cowher incident. What we can't figure out is what happened in the longest yard.
Yeah, you got to throw the flag there.
NFL Countdown, Sundays at 11, Mondays at 6:30 on ESPN.
Thursday night football. Colorado State battles Air Force.
This Rocky Mountain rivalry has produced wild games, big upsets, and big comebacks.
Thursday game night at 7:30, followed by Colorado State versus Air Force at 8. Thursday on ESPN.
The Rangers, who began their day just 1 game out on the West in Tampa. Come on, Johnny, you're independent race. Bottom to second, tied at 1, bases loaded. Wade Boggs at the plate. A grand slam, 7th home run of the season for Boggs. First slam since '92. Devil Rays up 5-1. Juan Gonzalez. Home run. 42nd on the year. Rangers down 6-4. Juan with 151 RBIs in the season. Bottom 5, Quentin McCracken to right center. Tom Goodwin somehow holds on to it. Miguel Cairo would score. The Devil Rays would go on to win this one by the final of 10-5. Royce Clayton summed up the mood in the Rangers locker room, saying it's disheartening when you're playing one of the worst teams in baseball statistically and lose 2 of 3. In the loss, Gonzalez becomes the first American League player in 49 years to top 150 RBIs. Toronto is now 3 games behind the Red Sox, 4 back in the loss column, while the Rangers are 4.5 games out. Boston's magic number for clinching the wild card remains at 12. The division-leading Angels in Baltimore. Tied at 7 in the 7th, Rafael Palmeiro. Broken bat double. Brings in Rich Becker. The Orioles stake to an 8-7 lead. Top 8, Garrett Anderson facing Jesse Orozco with Randy Velarde at first. Roberto Alomar. Anderson would be safe at first. Look at it again. Alomar dives for the ball, flips it over his noggin, gets it to Bordick. Bordick tries to turn it. Can't, but the Orioles pick up the victory by the final of 12-7. This marks the 4th time this season the Angels have been swept in a 3-game series. Baltimore won 6 of the 11 games with Anaheim this season and has not lost a season series to the Angels since 1988. Cleveland, Chicago, the Tribe avoid the sweep, reduced their magic number for clinching a 4th straight Central Division title to 4. Cleveland manager Mike Hargrove, who was ejected for the 4th time this season, called this a terribly important win.
Home opener for the Oilers, and the fans are gay. Chargers, Oilers, second quarter, 6-0 Chargers. Steve McNair looking for Frank Wycheck, 15-yarder. We pay more for this cool low-angle video. It's 7-6 Oilers. Third quarter, 3rd and 9 for the Chargers. We stole this. Ryan Leaf flushed out. He'll run. He's tall. Down to the 1, went up, taken down hard. He's okay. Next play, Natron Means bounces, found the space, and he's into the end zone. Condensed version, Chargers win it 13-7. Leaf 2-0 as a pro, helped to give his coach Kevin Gilbride a dose of payback. He was fired as the offensive coordinator by the Oilers 4 years ago. Sunday's Oilers offense was trouble itself. Steve McNair sacked 3 times. Eddie George held to 11 yards, and the Oilers picked up only 250 yards total. Bills and the Dolphins, second quarter, no score, 4th and 1 for the Bills. Miami's 28. Rob Johnson getting some time by Rowland. Cranks it out for Eric Moulds. Good catch in the end zone, 28 yards and a score at 7-zip. Still that score, a minute left in the first half, and Dan Marino. Lamar Thomas over the middle, and he's still running and in. 18-yard play, it's tied at 7 apiece. Dolphins go to the ground game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Good cuts and in. Cuts on dimes. 25-yard run, set up a field goal, 10-7 Miami. Jimmy Johnson wants the crowd to get in. It's 13-7. Rob Johnson, his personal space is violated. Lorenzo Brommel got into him. Wade Phillips not so happy about that. It's 13-7 final. Miami came up with 8 sacks, held the Bills to 187 yards. The Dolphins linebacker Zach Thomas said fans love to see touchdowns, so maybe it was a boring game for them, but I hope it's like this all season. The Dolphins now have 12 sacks in 2 games. Cardinals and the Seahawks, rough one for Jake Plummer. Running for his life, Kingdom. First drive of the game, Plummer, not a lot of time, taken down by Michael Sinclair and Philip Daniels. 2 plays later, we added a new element where timing once he sets up, not from the snap. And when he set up, Matt Labonte took him down. Didn't get better. Seahawks up 3-0. Plummer ripped off. Willie Williams. He'll take it all the way back. He's into the end zone, diving in. Festive finish. 28-yard interception return, 10-0. Still first quarter. Cards backed up here. Plummer. We start the clock on his drop back. When he's set, he's taken down by Chad Brown and Michael Sinclair. Second quarter. Plummer forced to roll. Left the pocket. Darren Smith runs him down. 17-zip Seahawks. Plummer. He loses the ball. And Philip Daniels has it. 5 first-half sacks for the Seahawks. Second half, more of the same. Darren Smith drills him. Plummer, not a lot of time there. Goes from shotgun to buy more time, but there is none. 7 Seattle sacks. The fitness guru, Jack LaLanne, was involved. That wasn't him. This is him hyping up the crowd. Seattle kicking off with a 33-7 lead now. Amon Green. He's after Eric Metcalf. Big stick. We'll lead it again. Well, not lead it again. We'll see it again. Just a lot of highlights, and we're having trouble saying words. There's the hit. Amon Green putting him down. And the Seahawks like what they see, a 2-0 start. Seattle's 2-0 to open up for the first time since 1994, and it's been lopsided, 71-14. Seattle has 16 sacks in its first 2 games. Ricky Waters had his first 100-yard running game for the Seahawks this year, the 22nd of his career. When we return, going back to Wrigley for more on Slammin' Sammy's big day. He's at 62. And which pitcher is Mark McGwire talking about when he says he owns me? He gets me out every time.
Okay, people, this is a phone, and this is $1. You still with me? Well, that's good. Now dial this number, and all your long-distance calls from home could cost less than $1. That's right, with 10-10-220, all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents. Talk longer, and it's just 10 cents for each extra minute. No fees, no contracts. Am I right, Poochie? Just dial 10-10-220, then 1, then the number. Bottom line, you get up to 20 minutes on this for less than this. You got that? Good, because if I'm not mistaken, I think nature's calling my dog.
Giving NFL Game Day 99 better graphics and gameplay was easy. The hard part was deciding between all the new end zone celebrations.
Birdie!
That's nice.
Looking good, Terrell.
No! I ain't this!
Just fine.
Less is more. But hey, when the result's a game this real, it's worth the trouble.
Stop that, please.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
PlayStation.
Your sister's not the problem. I just don't want to spend 2 weeks cooped up with the rest of your family. You're both... No.
What? Are you all right?
Somebody help us! Oh gosh, oh my God, oh please. Rotation.
Alfred, come here. Run across the street. Check out what's going on over at Pizza Hut. Becky, run over to the Pizza Hut. Check on Alfred. Cece, Lou, Victor, check on Alfred, Becky. Lou. No, you're Lou. Anybody with a yellow shirt.
If you want the most exciting, most outrageous, most mouth-watering pizzas there are, you gotta go to Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof.
They're not coming back.
To Oakville, Ontario for the Bell Canadian Open. 18th hole, par 5. Billy Andrade, one-shot lead, decides to go for the green and 2. Tried to do this on Saturday and had the same result. He double bogeyed on Saturday. Andrade could have played it safe, but he went for it. One shot back. Bob Friend watching Andrade, this 35-foot putt to save par, and it touches nothing. That's the bottom of the cup. Billy is pumped. He and Friend go to a playoff. First playoff hole. 18th again. Friend with a difficult lie on the side of a hill, and it is heading towards water. Leaking. Wet. That leaves Andrade this short par putt for the win. Ball game. Billy Andrade, your Canadian Open winner. The win ends a 7-year victory drought for Andrade. When you don't win for a while, said Andrade, you don't know if you'll ever win again. Andrade and Friend were the only players to break par on all 4 days.
Baseball here, Marlins Braves. Jesus Sanchez pitching. Tony Graffinino. He's leaving. That's more beer for us. Greg Maddux gone. Walt Weiss gone. Sanchez strikes out the side on 9 straight pitches. I guess those were the pitches. 7 consecutive strikeouts for him. Now to the 4th, and Sanchez is looking for his 8th straight strikeout against Gerald Williams here. And even with derogatory credit, you can own a brand new car. Braves pick a 1-zip lead. 6th inning, 2 out, 1-0 Braves. Greg Maddux against Edgar Renteria.
Breaking ball, another.
And that's a ground out to the shortstop.
Just like that.
What a play, Maddux! Pitched 6 innings. 7th inning, 2-1 Marlins. Man on third, Kevin Ory against Odalis Perez. Home run. 7th of the year. Marlins up 4-1 and win it 6-5. So Sanchez and the Marlins kept the Braves from clinching the East. Rookie tied his career high with 10 Ks. He moved to 7 and 8. Greg Maddux strained a muscle in his right armpit, but he says he will not miss a start. Now they took extra innings between the Dodgers and the Padres. Dodgers winners here. Tony Gwynn was back in the lineup for San Diego. He'd missed 4 games with a sprained thumb ligament, but he went 0 for 3. Jeff Shaw got his career-high 43rd save of the season for L.A., and San Diego starter Matt Clement allowed 3 runs in 6 innings, and that was his major league debut. You've heard Sammy Sosa defer to Mark McGwire. Mark's the man in America, he will say. I'm the man in the Dominican Republic. But the latter is guaranteed. The former is unconfirmed. Sosa tied McGwire's all-time single-season record of 62 home runs on Sunday. And so the race is really on now. In Sosa's case, 2 races because his Cubs are the wild card leader. There's Carlos Diaz from Chicago.
When Sammy Sosa talks, Mark McGwire listens. Following McGwire's 62nd home run, Sosa told him to sit back and relax. adding that he would be catching up to him soon enough. With homers 59 through 62 this weekend, Sosa left Wrigley Field Sunday having fulfilled his promise.
I said to Mark that I wait for me the other day, so I think that he listened to me. Now we're together.
I'll admit, I thought, pretty much the home run race was going to be McGwire's. But my buddy, he just, when he gets hot, boy, he can hit them in a hurry. Obviously, he proved that.
Especially happened here in Chicago, which is, made me more proud of myself, because when what's happened to Mark McGwire was in St. Louis, and I don't want to miss that moment right here with all my fans, with all the people that are been behind me 100%.
The Cardinals winning the game on the night of McGwire's 62nd home run was of little significance in history. But Sosa's 62nd helped fuel yet another come-from-behind victory for the Cubs. The second in as many days, won with a home run on the final at-bat. Mark Grace was the hero on Sunday, with Sosa watching from the on-deck circle.
I'm sorry I hit that home run so Sammy couldn't come up to the plate, guys, but I know everybody was disappointed, but I'm not. I think mine went further than Sammy's, don't you think? He can't hang with me.
When Mark McGwire hit number 62, he received hugs from the Maris family and Commissioner Bud Selig, as well as a 1962 shiny red Corvette. When Sammy Sosa hit 62, he had to settle for phone calls from Randy Maris and Bud Selig, but his bonus prize is much sweeter to him than any automobile. With Sunday's win, Sosa keeps his Cubs one game up in the wild card race. From Chicago, Carlos Diaz, ESPN.
All right, Carlos in Chicago. Jimmy Roberts in the Dominican Republic, and he caught up with Sammy's mother.
Senor, what do you think it will be like if Sammy hits 62 home runs?
It would fill this country with pride. It is not as much a competition between him and McGwire, but it would be nice for him.
Can you explain why the people around here seem to love Sammy so much? I mean, is it just the home runs?
He represents a beautiful thing here in San Pedro de Macorís. From even the littlest ones to the big ones, they call Sammy, Sammy.
Still to come in the program, the man Sammy's been chasing, the man Sammy is now caught. Mark McGwire joins us for the Sunday conversation, and we'll check out the latest ESPN USA Today college football poll as Bobby's squad lands in unfamiliar territory.
Early Saturday, Mama sent Dad to the store. There was rain and sleet, and man did it pour. But I had no fear, and you want to know why? At the wheel of the M class, I had the big guy. Oh, well, a big bad bully cut us off on a whim. No sweat, cause Dad swerved right around him. And why do I love him with all my affection? He bought the M class for my protection. He's big, he's bad, he's my big bad Dad.
All your life, you've heard it.
Stop that horsing around!
Even at the pool. But now you're the grown-up. Ha! You've got the power, and you've got some making up to do. At Thistledown, horseplay is what we're all about. Just one taste of our live thoroughbred and simulcast action, and you'll be more revved up than the time you ate your whole bag of Halloween candy. So get to Thistledown and horseplay all you want. We promise not to ground you.
Seen on film. I told him Coach is pretty good in person, too.
They're very good, but there's a couple of ways you could beat that Florida attack defense. First of all, you run right at them if you get Nebraska's team. But if you don't have Nebraska's team, you get in the shotgun and you'll throw the ball all over the place. Tim Couch in the shotgun, Hal Mummy calling the plays. Florida will be challenged by the Kentucky shotgun offense.
Well, I think this game is very evenly matched. You look at both teams.
Thursday game night is on. Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, the new tackle football poll is out for the colleges. Nothing new at the top. Ohio State remains #1 in all the land after shutting out Toledo. Florida jumped from #4 to #2. Nebraska stayed put. Kansas State, UCLA each moved up one spot. Tennessee, LSU, Penn State, and Washington all moved up one place. Virginia moved up 2 spots. Florida State was in a free fall from 2nd to 11th after being beaten by North Carolina State. Syracuse gained 5 spots to be ranked 13th. 2 more Pac-10 schools made the top 20. USC and Arizona moved up to 16th and 17th. And some newcomers, Virginia Tech, Alabama, Oregon, and NC State weren't rated last week. Notre Dame was rated PG for violence on defense, but lost to Michigan State.
Sunday Conversation is brought to you by Sprint. With long-distance wireless internet and data services, Sprint connects you to your world.
He has been baseball's goodwill ambassador, not to mention a numerologist's dream. He hit his record-breaking 60-second home run 9/8/1998 at 9:18 Eastern, numbers that add up to 62. This past Thursday in Cincinnati, I asked the St. Louis slugger how many homers it would take to win the title this year. He said his son gave him a number in spring training to shoot for, a number he has yet to reach. In part 2 of my conversation with Mark McGwire gives new meaning to the phrase, giving at the office. Is there a pitcher that you homered off of this year that you feel you have no business homering off of?
Oh, yeah. Willie Blair. He owns me. It's amazing. You know, people, you know, he's, for some reason, he just gets me out all the time. And it ends up that I hit my 50th home run off him this year. I think I was like 1 for 20-something off him. And I wrote him a bat when he was playing with the Diamondbacks before he was traded to the Mets. And the last time we faced the Diamondbacks, I didn't think I was going to face him again this year. I wrote a bat and said, Willie, you absolutely own me. Mark McGwire. I sent it over to him.
You have a history of giving away things. You have a history of giving. Are people now telling you don't give away your shoes and don't give away your bats and don't give away gloves or balls?
No, I do it all the time. I gave Jim Leland my batting gloves after the last game down in Florida. I gave Bobby Knight, who was here a few weeks ago, I gave him my shoes that I hit 50 through 55 in. I gave, like my second father, Jim, gave him my bat that I hit 50 through 55, but you know, it's, you know, those things mean a lot to me, but it means even more than I can give them to them.
I talked to Dan Marino a couple of weeks ago, and he said that his son wanted a birthday present, and he didn't know what to get, and then he said, I want Mark McGwire's bat. So Marino said he called you up?
And called me up in the clubhouse in San Francisco. Yeah, and they go, hey, Dan Marino's on the phone. I go, yeah, right. I get on the phone, and you know, I've never really met him, but I get on the phone, and you know his voice from the Isotonic glove commercials, you know. So I get on the phone, and he says, "Yeah, my son, he wants something from you." And I say, "Can I do anything for you?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "How about signing a jersey to my son?" I got back from the road trip. The jersey said to Matthew. It was unbelievable.
Do you worry though that you can't be the public Mark McGwire anymore? You can't walk on a golf course and just play. You can't be out in the front yard with your son. That you've sacrificed or you've lost a little bit of that?
I'm going to be the same person I'm going to be. I just, you know, people say, well, here he's thrown in all the success, you know. Oh, he's going to change. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to change. You know what happens is the people around you change because they look at you differently. They think, well, here's this guy. Oh, my God, he hit 62 or how many until the end of the season home runs. Oh, he's a different person. No, I'm not a different person. I'm the same person. I'm going to be the same dad. I just hope people around me, people in the city that I live in, don't change.
Just a sampling of the conversation with Mark McGwire. Mark talking history. Please join me Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern. McGwire left Sunday's game in Houston with back spasms. He says he hopes to play Monday night.
Sunday Conversation was brought to you by Sprint. With long-distance, wireless, internet, and data services, Sprint connects you to your world.
We're going back to the NFL when we continue with the Falcons have to call on Steve DeBerg against the Eagles. And will Denver be looking at its backup starting next week after John Elway limped off the field on Sunday?
If we added a nightclub, a show, restaurants, and 2 new towers to the pyramids of ancient Egypt, King Tut would roll over. Then he'd call for reservations.
Call 1-800-288-1000 today.
We like to say, with Coors beers, you get a taste of the Rockies. You see, all the barley we use in brewing grows only in the Rocky Mountains. Right here in Colorado, or Idaho, Wyoming, or Montana. So you know that little picture of the Rocky Mountains on our labels? Truth in packaging.
What do you call hamburgers that are grilled one at a time by a person? Absolutely delicious. Chili's Big Mouth Burgers, monuments of inefficiency.
The Zoom lane.
To New Orleans for the Saints and Panthers. Third play from scrimmage, 59 seconds in. Danny Warfel to Sean Dawkins. The quick slant, and they're not gonna get him. 64 yards, 7-0 Saints. Fourth quarter, Saints are down 14-13 when the immovable object runs into the resistible force. Ray Zeller, boom, over Doug Evans. 19-14 Saints. Less than 3 minutes to go. 4th and 10. Kerry Collins dropped by Joe Johnson. Wayne Martin cleans up the mess. Saints hold on to win it, rushing for 207 yards. On the game-clinching touchdown drive, the Saints rushed for 66 of the 74 yards. Warfel making his third career start helped guide the Saints to their first 2-0 start in 5 years. Warfel, 13 of 18, $145, also rushed for 40 yards. Altogether now, a matchup for the Birds, Eagles, Falcons. Chris Chandler, Falcons down 9-0 third quarter. 2nd and 6 from the Eagles 19. Former UConn Husky Brian Kozlowski. Falcons down 9-7. Dropping a little local knowledge on you. Later in the third, Chandler, pass is incomplete. 3rd and 19, a flag on the play. Matt Stevens called for roughing up Chandler. 5 plays later, on the one, Jamal Anderson. Falcons go up 14-9. Anderson, 20 carries, 74 yards. Falcons pick up the victory by the final 17-12. Falcons 2-0 for the first time since 1986. Last season, Atlanta started out 0-5, but closed out the season going 6-2. This is the first time in 8 years the Eagles have started the season 0-2.
To justify the padding of their expense account, some of those who delivered pregame news to you on ESPN from NFL sites put in some overtime to bring you summarization. It's the NFL Blitz, our post-game trip around the league and to some of Sunday's big games. Here's Mike Golick, who saw the Packers win. He's leading the Blitz.
The Green Bay Packers continue their hex over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not only do they go 2 games up on the Bucs in their division, but they also won their 25th straight regular season game at home. And in their latest victory, the defense was dominant, holding Tampa Bay to just 2.6 yards per rush, forcing them into 3rd and long situations all game long. And speaking of that great defense, they came up with 6 big sacks, 3 by the supposed aging Reggie White. Now that now gives him 55.5 career sacks as a Packer, pushing him past Tim Harris as the team's all-time leader in sacks.
I'm Andrea Kramer in St. Louis, where the Vikings beat the Rams by about a yard, 38-31. It was 4th and 6 from the 9 with 6 seconds to go. Tight coverage by the Vikings forced quarterback Tony Banks to scramble. He admitted he's not the fastest guy, but he thought he could make it to the end zone. Linebacker Ed McDaniel, one of 4 Vikings who converged to stop Banks at the 1, told me they took the Rams for granted. And even safety Robert Griffith said the offense bailed us out this game. And by the way, not that he didn't have faith in his defense, but during the Rams' final drive, Vikings offensive coordinator Brian Billick was on the bench, scripting plays for overtime. Quarterback Brad Johnson will have x-rays and an MRI on a sprained ankle on Monday, but told me he expects to play next week.
I'm Ed Werder in Denver. Broncos quarterback John Elway says he'll take about 3 or 4 days off because of that strained right hamstring, and then he'll try to take part in the team's practices as they get ready to play the Oakland Raiders next Sunday. Broncos tight end Shannon Sharp said the problem for the Dallas defense, they never made the decision whether to commit to stopping Terrell Davis and the running game or John Elway in the passing game, and so they let both get out of control. That was really evident in the Cowboys locker room. Linebacker Dexter Coakley walked past offensive lineman Nate Newton and said, "I'm sorry, man, we did nothing to help you." I'm Ed Werder.
Still to come on the show, we dream the possible dream on the plays of the week. All we ask is you come fully equipped.
When the heat starts to bite, do you have what it takes to bite back? Gatorade Frost. Is it in you?
These jeans have been constructed out of cotton that was purposely mistreated to make it hard. We've rolled it between slabs of pig iron to make it rough and unyielding to the touch. We dyed it dark as anything made out of dirt can be dyed. All with utter disregard for your dainty, petal-soft skin. Levi's hard jeans. You're welcome.
It's a September to remember on ESPN. Down the stretch in baseball's most exciting season ever, ESPN puts you in the middle of all the action. For every race and record chase with the biggest bats and the tightest battles, you'll have up-to-the-minute news as baseball history unfolds. Sportscenter, Baseball Tonight, and twin Wednesday night doubleheaders on ESPN and ESPN2. Baseball this fall on ESPN. Every day, it's something new.
All I care about is baseball.
To the vet for the Phils and Pirates, bottom of the fifth. Phillies lead 3-1, and Adrian Brown set to make the highlights for all the wrong reasons. Doug Glanville, the fly ball, no. Brown can't come up with it. Glanville on his way to third. Jose Guillen bobbles the ball, and Glanville will not stop. Glanville, plate word. Phillies win it by the final of 4-1. Paul Byrd retired 15 of the final 18 batters he faced as the Phillies defeated Pittsburgh 4-1. The former Brave has a 2.33 ERA and 6 starts with the Phils. Mark Leiter pitched 2 shutout innings to record his 23rd save. Ben Grieve continued to add to his Rookie of the Year campaign with a 12th inning 3-run bomb off Rick Aguilera. The win allowed the A's to complete the weekend sweep. Rain stopped the Royals and Mariners from completing the finale of their season series. This game will not be made up.
Can't say the same for the country, but it's been a pretty good sports week. McGwire got to 62, Sosa matched him, and it had us thinking about dreams coming true for the plays of the week. So then, no Sleepy Floyd and no former college football coach Tony Knapp.
You also won't be seeing our field of dreamers that include the Dream himself, Hakeem Olajuwon, the Reds' Mike Remlinger, the Padres' Andy Sheets. The plays of the week, if you edit them, they will come.
Into the gap, Junior with a dive, makes the catch. Coming on, McDonald, baby, what a great catch.
To keep him from hitting it the other way. This could be 2. Toss to Gonzalez, he'll have to hurry.
Here's the 2-2 pitch right back to Holmes, and he's got it for the out.
Timmerman takes the helmet right off. You think he cared? Look what he led with. The guy led with his face. Right in the kisser. Bang. This is a you can't hurt me.
Sammy hit the high drive. Deep right, that's number 59. Sammy joins the babe. Swing. Look at there. Look at there. Look at there. McGwire, number 61. 3-1. Belton. There it goes. Number 61. First pitch, rocket deep toward left. He did it! He did it! He did it! The 2-1. Swung on, there she goes!
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Isuzu, specialized worldwide builders of adventure machines. Isuzu, go farther.
On Sunday NFL Countdown, Troy Aikman said he was excited to be playing football again. Unfortunately for him, he won't be playing for a little while. More on that story is coming next.
Today's Sports Century Classic Moment is brought to you by 10-10-3-2-1.
Heavyweight champion Jack Dempsey and Louis Firpo engage in one of the most exciting fights in ring history. The Wild Bull of the Pampas decks Dempsey not once, but twice, knocking him through the ropes before 90,000 shocked fans at New York's Polo Grounds. But the Manasseh Mauler counters, flooring Firpo 9 times, knocking him out in the second round, retaining his crown.
That was September 14th, 1923.
What's wrong?
Phone bill came.
Dad's mad?
Very mad.
Feeling bad?
Feeling dumb.
How come?
Didn't dial 10-10-321.
10-10-321?
Should have dialed 10-10-321.
Cheaper than AT&T?
On every call in the U.S.
Anything else?
50% off all calls over 20 minutes.
50%?
50%.
Day or night?
Night or day.
What about international?
Great rates.
Just dial 10-10-321.
Then one, and the number as usual.
No fees?
No sign up.
Just dial.
And save.
Wow, you're dumb.
This Tuesday night, right after the early Sports Center, we hope you'll watch the latest Outside the Lines. It probably affects your favorite team. In the 90s, 90 teams in Major League Baseball, the NFL, NBA, and NHL have new stadiums or are actively seeking one. That's 75% of the teams. Why do teams say they need new stadiums? What are the trends in stadium design? And the controversy over the use of taxpayer money to build them. Outside the Lines, 7:30 Eastern, Tuesday night.
The Cowboys lost to Denver on Sunday 42-23, and that's the optimistic view. Dallas will go on now without quarterback Troy Aikman for several weeks while his fractured left clavicle heals. If Dallas is still America's team, then the title is fitting. A bit fractured, a lot confused. Here's Ed Werder.
Decision-making is crucial to playing quarterback in the NFL. Troy Aikman normally scores highly in that regard, but his competitiveness led to a decision he may long regret. Aikman fractured his left clavicle and won't be playing quarterback for at least a month because he decided to pursue extra yardage rather than the safety of the sideline.
The scramble was not by design. We were trying to get the ball up the field, and they covered it up pretty good, and took off running and fell on his shoulder.
I never really spoken to him a lot about getting out of bounds and things like that, and but that was one of those times that I wish he had, obviously, and so does he now.
He had a chance where he could have slid or run out of bounds, but he wanted to make the extra 5 yards. Now he and the Cowboys got to pay for it.
With Aikman wearing a sling, the Cowboys fear the rest of their offense might be similarly immobilized. Aikman hasn't missed a game because of injury since 1994. 6-year veteran backup Jason Garrett has started just twice in the NFL, both Dallas victories. But he's never thrown more than 31 passes in a season.
It's the nature of the backup quarterback position. You don't get work during the week, and I think for the most part, Coach Galey and Buddy Geis, our quarterback coach, do a great job in preparing all of us.
He's, not had that kind of experience and doesn't have, quite the arm strength, and there's some things that aren't the same, but, we'll ask him to do almost the same stuff.
None of us are completely comfortable with this offense yet, but I think we're getting more comfortable with it, and I think for the most part, we're heading in the right direction.
Cowboys doctors say that Aikman's fracture was clean, so it should heal quickly. He won't require surgery, and team orthopedist Dr. Robert Vandermeer, who's cared for Aikman his entire NFL career, told me he really believes that Aikman will be ready to play again in about 4 weeks. In Denver, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Ed, thanks for the report, but then that's your job. Since he's been a Dallas Cowboy, Dallas is 8-7 all-time without his franchise quarterback Aikman. He last missed a start because of injury in December of '94. He's never missed more than 5 starts in any one season.
We are not done with Sammy. How did he become one of baseball's best sluggers when he used to struggle just to make contact? We'll fill you in. That's next. This is SportsCenter.
This ain't Altoona or Pawtucket, kid, no. Now you're pouring beer in the show. Not just any beer, either. We're talking big leagues, kid.
We're talking Coors Light. Wearing this tray out there is like waving a red flag at a bull. 40,000 thirsty fans looking for the coldest beer around.
The Rocky Mountain Refreshment of frost-brewed Coors Light.
Think you can handle it, kid? Yeah. Hey, beer man! Beer man, I'm here, man!
Rookies.
Está empatado, Baccarino avanza por el medio campo, pasa para Garbacho que busca un hombre sin marca, buen pase para Leonetti, uy, le cometen falta, brea con la pelota, toca para Pérez, avanza Pérez, la domina y busca el hueco, amaga por izquierda, va por la derecha, viene, amaga por izquierda otra vez, patea y viene, ¡gol! ¡Lo han logrado! ¡Se ganaron la copa!
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your wife. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
One official Major League Baseball, $9. New ball, $9. New ball, $9. New ball, new ball, new ball, $9. New windshield, $100. 62, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, official card of Major League Baseball and believer that records were made to be broken.
So a record that stood for 37 years has now been surpassed twice within the past week. Back in late May, Sammy Sosa trailed Mark McGwire 24-9 in the home run race. Since then, Sosa has hit 53 to make the race a dead heat. But why Sammy, and why this year? Jack Edwards now on the education of a free swinger who's making the opposition pay dearly.
When Sammy Sosa made it to the majors, he never saw a pitch he didn't like.
He does strike out a lot, and there is one more for him.
I used to be a free swinger, but, not anymore.
Swung, hit high in the air, deep toward right. Pettigini back, it's gone, he did it. Number 56.
I played with him before in the Dominican Republic, and see him then and see him now is totally different hitter.
Got a fastball by Sosa.
When I was with the Chicago White Sox, I was like I was in jail. I don't have that much opportunity that I have here and with the Chicago Cubs.
As a Cub, Sosa would chase the 61 home run record. The regulars in 1990, between Sosa and the bottom of the White Sox order, had combined to hit 61.
When Larry Hahn came through for me, trade me, that was something that I said to myself, well, I just got to go to another new house, and I just got to go put everything together.
When he came over, you could see the talent, but I don't think, everybody that's in baseball, has been in baseball a long time, could see talent that he had. He was there. It was just a matter of not being overly aggressive and getting the experience to play.
He's done great things in the past. He's just kind of maximized everything this year and gone over and above all that.
For the last 5-6 years, I've been hitting over 30 home runs and been playing good all the time. And this is the year that everything together.
The difference? A career high in walks.
Sammy's has been patient this year. He's been outstanding. Never seen him like that before. He backed off the plate, for one thing, and he lowered his hands. He used to have his hands about his ear, and he'd load his hands, so that allows him to see the ball a little longer.
3-2 pitch swung on, belted into right center field. Burke's on the run at the track. He looks up. It's in the basket.
With a guy like this, the talent is there, the strength is there, the quickness is there. So what he has done, he's gained patience, he's gained experience.
Before this year, Sosa struck out 5 times for every home run he hit. This year, he has cut that ratio in half. Once he never saw a pitch he didn't like. Now, when Sosa picks one out, he drives it.
He's 1 for 2, and he sends a rocket deep toward left. Back goes Mabry at the track, at the wall. He's got it, number 48.
Anybody could wait on a good pitch to hit, but most of the time they pop it up and hit a ground ball. What he has done this year is when he got that good ball to hit, he made good contact and the ball went over the fence.
Don't swing everything that the pitch used to be throw you. They used to be throw me through pitch and that's it. I'm out, but not anymore. I think that I have an idea what's going on now, and I play more relaxed, and I have a plan. Every time I go to the home plate, I know what to do.
Jack Edwards with that report. When we return, those who returned well will be honored as today's best. No disrespect meant to Mr. Sosa, because he had a good day too.
Early Saturday, Mama sent Dad to the store. There was rain and sleet, and man did it pour. But I had no fear, and you want to know why? At the wheel of the M class, I had the big guy. Oh, well, a big bad bully cut us off on a whim. No sweat, because Dad swerved right around him. And why do I love him with all my affection? He bought the M class for my protection. He's big, he's bad, he's my big bad dad.
This time, it's not about the belt. It's not about the record book. It's not about the prize. This time, it's personal. Oscar De La Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez. Ultimate Revenge. Live on pay-per-view, Friday, September 18th.
Hello, my name is Oscar De La Hoya, and watch me knock him out on Cablevision.
NFL Tonight on ESPN2, Tuesday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Now, guys will have something to talk about.
Kennison drifting back. He's going to take it into the 30, trying to come up straight up the field, 35, 40, breaks the tackle, the 45. Bounces off the pass, and here he goes to the left side, and he's got some guys down, runs to get the block from Battaglia. That's the 50, 45, another great block from Max.
Lewis camps under it at the 30-yard line, running left, doubles back to the right, across the 40, to the outside 50, inside the 40.
And Barlow gets underneath it at the 15 with room to run. He comes up to the 20, has a seam 25-30. There's the 35-40. It's a foot race.
Fields it at the 5-yard line. Here's Jacquez Green. If he gets open, he'll beat everyone. And good go. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. St. Louis. Down the sideline he goes. David Gibson will go all the way and score for the Bengals.
Inside the 40, down the sidelines 30, to the 20, 10, touchdown, Ravens.
He's not going to get caught. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Reggie Barlow, 85 yards.
He's going to beat everyone. Jacquez Green, a 94-yard punt return.
Today's Best is brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
If your children are stuck at 61 on that deal where you impress the neighbors with their counting ability, we'll get them to 62. We're right back on the Learning Channel.
Picture this, man. You're walking alone by yourself. It's dark out, and you trip. You fall off the curb, man. You lose your balance, and you go down hard on the knee. But get this, man. The 501 jeans are hard. Man, they're so hard that concrete doesn't even touch them. But get this. The jeans scuff your skin. Man, the jeans are so hard, they scuff you. Levi's hard jeans. Probably harder than necessary.
Where'd you get the club?
Accounting.
County gave you a club?
Yeah, I made him a deal.
Deal?
Whenever my cell bills are half as much as yours, they give me a club.
Aren't you on the phone all the time?
Yeah, but I have Nextel. My calls are rounded to the second. I pay less.
That's not fair. I want to be rounded to the second. I want clubs.
Where do I get my putter?
Giving you a putter?
Nextel's 1 second rounding makes ordinary cell phones seem ordinary.
When the heat starts to bite, do you have what it takes to bite back? Gatorade Frost. Is it in you?
Here at VMI, we were asked to try the new Norelco Advantage for 21 days. There was quiet dissension.
I'm not giving up my blade.
And anxious inquiry.
The heck is this? Goo?
But then we started to realize the lotion actually gave us a closer, smoother shave than we expected, without the nicks and cuts like blades. Our fear diminished, our hopes arose, and life got a little less hairy.
Come on, babyface, move it!
The new Norelco Advantage. Put it to the test. If you don't like it, they'll give you your money back guaranteed.
Upon hearing that Sammy Sosa had hit his 62nd home run on Sunday, Mark McGwire left Sosa a congratulatory voicemail. After the Cardinals game Sunday night in Houston, McGwire let Sammy know that the home run chase is still on.
I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that it's not over. I mean, it's, you know, it's, I mean, I never once thought that it was you know, that was it. I mean, come on, we got 2 weeks left. So, and he's having an unbelievable year, and he got hot this weekend and hit a bunch out. He's got 62, and you know, it's awesome. I think it's just, we're all sitting here watching. So it's a great thing for the game of baseball.
Partly to impress you with our slick editing skills, but mainly as a tribute to his extraordinary accomplishment, we will now play back every single home run hit by Sammy Sosa this season. After 2 home runs on Sunday, Sosa tied Mark McGwire for the all-time single-season record of 62. We reserve the right to show off our fancy editing when all the home run hitting is done.
I'm not swinging the ball hard. I think I've been cheating myself, so I'm going up there and swing the ball the way I'm supposed to be swinging.
I'm not looking for a home run. If it happens, it's going to happen. My ability is going to take cover. I'm not looking for that.
Good night now. Oh, my goodness. You got to be kidding me.
Here it is. Curve swung on, belted deep toward left. He's got 20 this month. Oh, baby, he tomahawked it right out of the yard.
The whole year long was 1 month that I had to say that I hit 20 in 1 month. That's a lot in 1 month. So that helped right there.
20 homers for the month. And he drives one to center. All the way back. This could be grand slam. Grand slam, Sammy Sosa. The pitch to Sosa. Sammy hits a high fly ball. All the way back to left. Can you believe it? Another grand slam. Another grand slam for Sammy Sosa. He's 1 for 2, and he sends a rocket deep toward left. Back goes Mabry at the track, at the wall. He's got it, number 48.
Also, I love this country. It's a beautiful country. I think that today was something that you know, all the Latin America want to do, and I have to say thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to be the first one. The record is there to somebody to break it, and I have to say I am a pretty lucky guy to be the man.
Number 58 for Sammy Sosa. Sammy hits a high drive. Deep right, that's number 59. Here comes the 3-2, and Sammy drives one deep to left, and Sammy joins the babe.
The 0-1.
Swung on, belted. There it goes. Number 61, move over Maris.
The 2-1.
Swung on, there she goes. Number 62, move over Big Mac. You got company.
Yeah, he does. Sammy Sosa tied up at 62. Now, McGwire has 13 games left. 9 will be at home. Sosa, 12 games left, just 3 at home. They're headed into the final games at 62. McGwire hasn't homered in 5 games since getting number 62. He goes against Jason Schmidt on the Pirates on Monday. Sosa up against the lefty Sterling Hitchcock on the Padres in a game with some big playoff implications as well.
Few things are more enjoyable than taking a Sunday drive in Monterey. The Cart guys couldn't agree more. Highlights of their afternoon coming up.
Oh, folks, I've got some news for you. Not that headline stuff, but real news. You can make all your long-distance calls from home up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. Less than $1. Cheaper than a sack of nuts. And it's just 10 cents for each minute over 20. How? Just dial 1010-220. Even Ed can do it. Just dial 1010-220, then 1 and the number. No fees, no contracts. It's about communicating. Up to 20 minutes of it for only 99 cents. Dial 1010-220.
You're the beer man, playing and paying comes with the territory. But a few nagging injuries won't stop me from delivering cold Coors Light.
Hey, beer man.
95 is what the doctor called pop-top finger. But I kept cracking open that Rocky Mountain refreshment. 96 was a wicked case of beer elbow. But the fans wanted a frost-brewed beer, and they got it. Knock the beer man out of the game? Well, that would take something really serious. Coors Light! Yeah, you want it. Coors Light!
Cart Series, Monterey, California, the Grand Prix of Monterey. Last year, Alex Zanardi made a bold late move to get past Brian Herta, and they are racing. They're crashing Michael Andretti into the kitty litter. Lap 54, Zanardi coming up on Herta, laying on the horn. There's Zanardi's team owner Chip Ganassi and Joe Montana, considering how rich they are. Zanardi and Herta flying down to the line, and Herta gets the checkered flag, has to give it back for the next race. His wife likes it. His first win in the Cart Series. It took him 71 tries. Speaking of Zanardi, he said, quoting, "It was all I could do to get this little Italian guy off my butt." He's a bulldog. That was respectful. He's also the champ. Zanardi clinched his 2nd consecutive title last week.
In Kent, Washington, for the Safeco Classic, Annika Sorenstam, 4th win of the year. Sayri Pak, who's also won 4 events, finished 21st. The seniors in Indianapolis for the Comfort Classic. Hugh Bayaki held off Bruce Summerhays to win by 2 strokes. His 20-under par score shattered the tournament record.
Those of you who paid your cable bill on time will receive continued ESPN programming right after these commercial announcements.
Falling in love again, never wanted to. What am I to do? I can't help it. Love's always been my game. Play it how I may. I was made that way. I can't help it.
What's my prize? Simple. To create a sports magazine readers love.
Big Mac 62? Is this the greatest moment in sports history? You tell me. And look out for Oscar De La Hoya and the 1-2 punch that knocks the ladies off their feet. Print it, baby!
Mike Tirico and company will get you ready for the Monday night game between the 49ers and the Redskins. 6:30 Eastern. Join Mike and company.
They'll also have leggy supermodels on the show. We're going to